All praises to the Most High in Christ. We just want to come to you with a quick run cross reference. With I got a video of a brother preaching and teaching and explaining this secret treaty of Verona. Okay, this is actually a document that they use. They say, "Oh well, it's not real," but they use these techniques all the time. And the what you'll see, the way they set up religion and their government, you know they had to be thinking like this. Okay, so we're gonna start here. The third article. Convinced that the principles of religion contribute most powerfully to keep nations, they didn't say the Israelites, they said nations, in the state of passive obedience which they owe to their princes. So they're calling themselves the princes. So they say the reason why they evangelize the world, showing themselves to be God, that's in the scripture. How did they do that? They painted Jesus white. They showed themselves to be God, and they had the power to say, if you don't accept Christianity, we're going to kill you. And they did that. They did it. So you know that's what they were thinking. Convinced that the principles of religion contribute most powerfully to keep nations in a state of passive obedience. In a state of passive obedience. Religion keep people in a state of passive obedience. Why? Because they think it's their duty. God set it up like this, and it's their duty to obey the law of the land, which they are not the law of the land. The law of the land is the Mosaic covenant, is the laws that God gave us in the commandments, okay? But they have set themselves up as God in the land, right? Keep the state, keep the nations in a state of passive obedience, which they owe to their princes. Why do we owe them that? Because they had the power to kill us and they didn't. That's what they're saying. We fought for this land. That's what they're saying. Their patriotic duty, they did it, and to bring us freedom of speech, right? Okay, which they owe to their princes. They're calling themselves the princes, and the high contracting parties, which they say the government. You'll see in a minute. Declare it to be their intention to sustain in their respective states. In other words, you get in everybody's duty. That's the duty of government now, not the consent of the people, but the consent of these princes to hold us in passive obedience through their police force, their laws that they make. They thought to change the laws. They changed the laws. Ain't that one of the prophecies? They thought to change the laws and the time, set the time like they want, change our worship day, change the national worship day for all people. God said the Sabbath, and they said now Sunday. All right, they changed that. Okay, it's the duty of the people who call themselves government in every state, United States, uh, uh, those measures, to keep those measures, whatever measures you decide, which the clergymen adopt, whatever your religion is. Our religion stems back to this number one, Jesus is white. He came for everybody, right? It stems back to that. It says those measures which the clergyman may adopt. You can make your own religion, whatever it says, but this is what's had to happen, with the aim of humiliating their own interests. Okay, your aim is to gain your own interest. You can, whatever you do, whatever religion you make up, we know you're trying to gain for yourself. We know you can. It's all right. We're not mad at you. You can gain your own interests, okay? Their own interests, to humiliate their own interests, okay? Whatever we know, So not, and to show you we know, we're not even going to charge you taxes. You don't have to pay taxes. So you get to charge the people. You get to take their tithes. Make up whatever false religion you want to. So intimately to your own interest, but intimately connected with, so intimately In other words, they said, but you have to make it so intimately connected, so connected with the preservation of the authority of the princes. So in other words, your religion have to connect these people with the authority of these people who have set themselves up of God. That's got to be your main interest too. We're gonna let you get all the money, rob the people, and do whatever you want to get what you want, but your interest gotta be connected with keeping these people disconnected from their disconnected from their excuse me disconnected from their God and their nation, their nationality, and their identity. That's your interest right there, connected with the main interest of these people. Psalms 83. Okay, and with the preservation of the authority of the princes. Okay, you gotta preserve the authority of the princes, and the contracting parties and the contracting powers join in offering their thanks to the Pope. So all the parties, all the religions, they are joined together to uh, they are joined together with power over the people, join in offering their thanks to the Pope. This is your thanks to the Pope for not killing you and for letting you set up and fool the people. Okay, for what he has already done. What does he do? He set himself up as God. He said, this America, the free and the great. Babylon, you can do what you want. Come over here, do what you want. You don't have to be worried about God coming and making you do anything anymore. Tearing your kingdom down. You can build your wealth, you can build your empire right here in the midst of our empire, as long as you uh keep these people under subjection to the power where be. It said, giving thanks to the Pope for what he already done, and solicit his constant cooperation. In other words, keep him raised up over the people as the authority and the religious uh, head, and the religious head of all religion. Okay, constant cooperation in their view of submitting the nations. So the preachers will tell you they bringing you they drawing God, they lifting up Christ to draw you unto Him, but they draw you unto Him to deliver you to the Pope and to deliver you to the authority that be, so they can hold the power on the earth to keep you in the captivity. Now we're going to go over and listen to this brother teach and help you to understand this all. For all education purposes, fair use. I'm going to pause to get the camera there.
The ox knoweth his owner.
God says that the ox knows his owner.
And the ass his master's crib.
And the jackass knows where his land is at. Go ahead.
But Israel does not know.
But the true Israelites do not know that they're the Israelites. And know that they don't know where their land is at. They don't know anything about them. Parents are reading our records backwards and forwards to each other, but they want to.
Israel does not know.
But the true Israelites do not know that they're the Israelites, and know that they don't know where their land is at. They don't know anything about themselves, because the tyrant have taken our information from us and lied.
See, so right here he's telling you, he's starting right there. We don't know any of this. Why? Because they killed all of our elders, the northern kingdom. When this is happening, it started beginning of the Renaissance, but they're really they're indoctrinating us after they killed all the Indians. They call them Indians, but I call them the Northern Kingdom. Scattered them all over the islands and all over the four corners of the earth. And when the people who did know who we are died, they re-indoctrinated the babies. Right? They re-indoctrinate the young people like they plan to do right now, trying to kill us off with these different diseases and stuff, and not letting the truth come out. Because why? Because if those young people, 10, 9, 10, 6, 7, 8, 9, all the way up, if they understand this truth here, then they're going to have problems while these people growing up, while these kids are growing up. They're not going to be able to control them. That's why they're trying to shut down every platform that are especially the heroes to the children, right? The athletes, they don't want the athletes because those are the warriors. They don't want the athletes to teach the children how to be warriors and to hate what they have done to us. So that's why it is so important to shut down all the entertainers and athletes, because they are set up as high contracting parties to keep the people in captivity. Okay, let's keep listening. Oh shoot, I gotta get back there. We'll get back.
Lie to us. But the tyrants are reading our records backwards and forwards to each other, but they won't allow you to be taught that in school.
That's right. See?
Go ahead. It said what?
My people does not consider.
My people does not even consider. Why is it talk about they don't consider? Because the repression made us stop even asking. Goes back to the repression again. We don't even ask anymore because the repression.
He's breaking down in detail how this all happened, right? I hope they don't get mad at me, but I'm just helping the kingdom. Fair use.
On us was so great, we gave up. We don't even care. We don't even consider. Who does that fit? The 12 tribes of Israel. That's us. That's us. Crystal clear. They know what they did to us. They know the punishment that they're going to get for doing what they did to us. It gets worse. When an enemy looks to conquer a nation, they must learn everything about that nation. Take away that very thing that united them in the first place. This is what I was saying before. They remove it, then they replace it with something that's close to what they actually belong to. They'll give you the Bible, but they will lie on it. Because they know that we're spiritually connected to it. So they say, we can't just take it a woman. We can't just take it from them completely. We got to give it to them, but we got to lie about it.
You see that? Whatever religion you want to make up, they okay with that, right? They okay with those little hats making up that they are the real Israelites, right? They're the real Jews. They don't say Israelites. Okay, this is a IUIC. It's like I'm interviewing them. I'm not stealing anything. Okay? All right.
Put a white man in the middle of them to make sure that none of them become a Ye. That none of them become a Kyrie Irving. To make sure that none of them become Nick Cannon or Professor Griff. I went over people's head with that one. Professor Griff used to be a Public Enemy. And I say used to because there was some riffraff that happened a while back, but I'll talk about that later on. When I get into, they tried to belongs to us. They said, well, we'll give them their Bible, but we will lie on it. That's how they got us to celebrate Christmas. Y'all got to really understand how deep this thing goes. They got us to, because you think you're celebrating about Jesus, and they put Jesus in it. They put a bunny rabbit and tell you that that's about Passover.
They didn't put Jesus in it. They put the white Jesus in it. Okay? But these brothers are on point. They on point, all right?
That's how they get us to celebrate pagan holidays.
There you go.
So that's slick rape of our minds. That's what they did. So basically, what I'm saying, they lied to us. And that's what Christianity is all about. And that's the reason why it's so popular among our people, because we think that we're worshiping God. We think that we have some connection to God. When in reality...
See? And when ain't that what the secret treaty of Verona said you can do? As long as you keep them connected and making them think this is God's doing.
The Christian churches are more like precincts to make sure that we stay asleep. Let me say that again. These churches are more like enemy precincts.
See that? That's deep.
Placed in our communities.
That's deep,
to make sure that we stay asleep.
That's deep, Doc. That's deep
and
right
the
there.
preacher is the captain of the precinct.
Make sure we don't unite as a people and come back to our true identity, the First Amendment right. That's what we got to do. That's what I'm teaching you. And I know that's what I've been trying to teach, not teaching you, but that's what I've been trying to teach. This is what we should do. And now they're teaching it. It's all in God's will.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
That's what these churches really are. and make sure that we stay asleep. You would bring to the preacher, say, listen, I read about Jesus. They said, we got to call the sergeant.
See? And that's what I've been trying to say about the secret treaty of Verona and their plan. We can stop this. This is something we can do. This is something we can resist, man. They're doing it, but you got to explain it like he's explaining it. Every day you teach this, you got to explain this. Every day you teach your people, you got to explain this so they'll know. They'll come out faster. We're not trying to bring them out of slavery. We're trying to bring their minds out of slavery first. That's the war tactic that we're using. We're debunking their strategy to bring us all under subjection to these higher contracting powers.
Because it's not about waking you up. Just throwing that out there too. This is still true today. What I'm about to read is getting ready to shock you. Dred Scott versus Sanford.
There you go.
Some of y'all may have
Oh man.
This. Some of y'all may be.
I didn't look at this before. I saw him doing it, and I jumped on it. But that's right there. He's going to explain it to you. I've been teaching this. Hey, beautiful.
Shocked by what I'm about to read.
Watch. You can't be their citizens.
Some of you might have your feelings hurt terribly because you have so much faith in the American system.
Dred Scott case.
The Dred Scott decision. Dred Scott.
They went and did this research. I've been on their website hollering at them, being pretty rude. Hopefully they would, would see my tenacity and go look at this. And they did it. The Moore's been teaching this. And they did it. He did it. I knew he would do it.
Versus Sanford. Okay. This is from the 1856 December term. I remember having this document some years ago. This is a discussion that involves the Constitution of the United States. Y'all listen to what I'm saying? Constitution of the United States. This argument was put before as a reference to what the Constitution actually meant when it came to the 12 tribes of Israel. Put it up on the screen. Okay, you got it. That's what I'm talking about right there. We're going to start with point number 4. Listen to this here.
Dred Scott versus Sanford, point number 4. A free Negro of the African race whose ancestors were brought to this country and sold as slaves is not a citizen within the meaning of the Constitution of the United States.
Hold it. This was said in a court.
We're not a citizen.
Is not a citizen.
Now, I don't know if they understand that. That's a blessing. What it's saying is we are another nation, and we cannot be governed by them because we are free. That's what I've been trying to teach you. They are saying themselves that we are not their citizens. We are not a part of the United States. I don't know if they're going to understand this and how they're going to teach it. I think they're trying to teach that the Constitution is not for us. But no, the Constitution is for us.
According to the Constitution of the United States. Go ahead.
When the Constitution was adopted,
meaning back in 1771, 76. Go ahead.
They were not regarded in any of the states.
Meaning the black people, the so-called Negroes, whose ancestors were brought over here in slavery. Now, Northern Kingdom might think this expels them.
Wait a minute. It expels them. It expels them. You let them go try to say they are citizens and see what happens. It expels all of them. I don't know how they getting it. See, they haven't done enough study. But the Constitution is the document and that takes jurisdiction from the United States to have jurisdiction over us. You got to read the rights of indigenous people, and you got to read what free means. We are a free nation. They have to treat us like a sovereign nation. And this is the agreement that they made along with the treaties to assure that they wouldn't try to lump us in with their nation and take jurisdiction over us. They're not even going to get into jurisdiction, but that's what this is about, the Constitution. To say that they don't have jurisdiction over us while they're in our country. That's why the fighting stopped. That's why, they didn't beat us with Gatling guns. They beat us with land and saying they would keep these treaties. And after after we got so weak and gave in and went to those reservations and everything, Gad and all the rest of the people that hear Issachar and agreed to leave our past behind and join in with them, we consented to be their slaves. That's what Kanye was saying.
We're gonna deal with you too. Read that again. When the Constitution was adopted, what?
They were not regarded
The Israelites were not regarded
in any of the states as members of the community which constituted the state.
Damn. Go ahead.
And were not numbered
And our people were not numbered. Go ahead.
Among its people or citizens.
Do y'all hear this? This is the reason why when the brother Kyrie was saying, well, what about the 300 million of my ancestors that was destroyed? They basically said, shut up, nigga. They act like he didn't even say it. Because this is what they're thinking about. Dribble the ball, nigga. That's their attitude. Throw the ball. Kick the ball. Jump. Like I said, I know this gonna get you. Don't know this hurt. I might not.
Come on, man, get out of your feelings and come on, teach it.
They were not regarded in any of the states as members of the community. Read.
Which constituted the state.
Come on.
And were not numbered among its people or citizens.
Read.
Consequently,
and because of that,
the special rights and immunities guaranteed to citizens.
Guaranteed to white citizens. That's what he's saying.
All right. You on point. You on point. Keep going.
And immunities, meaning that
we don't want their rights. We got our own, the rights of indigenous people. We are a republic. That means we govern ourselves. Don't make a big deal out of that.
I'm gonna give Amazon could make a film.
See, you going off.
Clearly exonerated, no questions at all. Amazon is bigger than Kyrie. What's his name? Kyrie Irving?
No, he is. No, they are not. They are not bigger. The only reason they are bigger than a sovereign nation is because we won't stand up and declare our sovereignty before them. We keep bowing down and giving them power over us. That's what I've been trying to teach. Fear of the devil is doubting God. Fear of the devil is faith in the devil, that he can outdo God, that he can hold us in captivity when God told us to come out. The Most High Yahweh and his angels, the unidentified flying saucers, the circles, yeah, the wheel inside the wheel, they got the power over Amazon.
Amazon is all over the planet.
So are the unidentified. So are the what do we call them? Chariots? So are the chariots. So are the chariots. So is God's word.
They made the video. They didn't even receive no backlash at all.
No, because they're doing their job. They're making money. They didn't go out and preach and tell you, hey, this video is right. They knew black people weren't even going to read it or understand the video or the book.
Because why? Because white people have immunities.
No, they don't. That ain't the reason. It's because they know you niggas ain't going to read. Not you niggas, but us niggas ain't going to read and ain't going to understand. They thought we was totally asleep. They didn't know this was going to happen.
Kyrie does not. Read that statement again.
Consequently, the special rights and immunities.
Because we are not numbered among the people or as citizens, because of that, the special rights that white folks get and the immunities that white folks get
guaranteed to citizens do not apply to them.
Do not apply to Kyrie.
Because he is a slave citizen. He is, you know what I mean? He's not going along with the secret treaty of Verona. That's why they don't want him to wake up these young people, because he is their hero. They are the future slaves. They don't want to have to fight for the next 20 years, have to fight these young kids growing up and rebelling against them.
And yea, do not apply to
they don't
anybody
understand.
That's not white.
See, God got to keep opening up their eyes. They just go so far. They grab this, they get zealous, and they grab hold to it and try to run without doing the whole study, man.
Go ahead.
And not being citizens within the meaning of the Constitution. They are not.
Hold on. And not being citizens within the meaning of the Constitution.
That's great. That's good. That's the good part right there. That means they have no jurisdiction over us. See, they're not even studying jurisdiction yet. You got to study jurisdiction. They have no jurisdiction over that. I'm going to put a video up about jurisdiction and the straw man in my playlist when I post this video. Okay, so go in there and look at that frog and look at that white dude doing the straw man, doing that his seminars on the straw man. They'll show you they have no jurisdiction. Look at that little short video I did, the reel I did about this is not a contract. I do not consent. Inducement to fraud and the Clearfield document. Those are the documents you use to cancel their jurisdiction over you. All right, to prove that they are not government. They are not government because we are free. We do not consent, right, to them being our governors.
Wow. Go ahead.
They are not entitled to sue.
You can't sue. That's why when you go to court.
No, you can't sue. If you saying you're their slave citizens, you can't sue them. You have to come back. That's why if you file a writ and without being in your proper persona, then they'll stamp on. They'll listen to your case, but they'll stamp on your affidavit plaintiff in error because you're trying to sue them when you're a slave. Dred Scott case said you can't sue them because a citizen can't sue their government that they consented to as slaves and feeble-minded and not knowing who they are. You got to come as a nation. That's why before you can stand up to what they're doing, you got to come as a nation. This Constitution protects nations of people. If you say no, I'm just black, Negro, and color, they know you out of you're out of your mind. You're sick out of your mind because you're saying I'm a crayon box. I'm a crayon in a crayon box, and I want to sue you. A thing cannot sue people. A thing cannot sue people, and so in other words, their states they can't sue us either. Because if once we stand up and be in our proper persona, a man or woman, because a thing is an inanimate object, it has no life. It cannot be injured. To sue, you have to have an injured party, right? A thing cannot be injured. That's what they're telling you. You are their property. You are a thing. You cannot be injured.
That's the reason why you lose case after case.
No, it ain't. He don't know.
They believe in this.
Yeah, they believe in it. You don't understand it.
My baby was shot. My mothers were raped. And I try to get this guy shot my wife down, shot my son down, shot my daughter down. And they didn't do nothing. When I go to court, not guilty.
You're out of status.
They are not entitled to sue in that character in a court of the United States.
Read.
And the circuit court.
And even if you try to take it out of that main courtroom, take it to a circuit court, go ahead.
Has not jurisdiction in such a suit.
You can't get no justice regardless of where you go.
That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. If you take it to what we're supposed to take it to a common law court in our proper persona, you got to know who you are. In other words, you got to cut ties, all ties with these people by declaring your nationality and declaring your freedom and declaring that the states are a thing, inanimate object, and they cannot be injured. So when they come and say you injured us, well, you got to have an affidavit, sworn affidavit by an injured party. The state cannot stand up and tell you they injured you. And no third party, nobody, no prosecutor, judge can act in behalf of an injured party. Okay, so you can't injure a piece of paper, and nobody can say, well, I represent the state or the injured party, because the injured party you have a right to face your accuser. And they have to stand up and say in their own words how you hurt them. Look at the court cases that come on TV in the morning times and stuff. They'll tell you. They show you. The injured party have to be able to prove their injury.
Go ahead.
The only two clauses in the Constitution which point to this race treatment,
Meaning us, which points to the only two clauses that refers to us is what?
This race, treat them as persons.
These are the two clauses. This is what it says. Listen good, and you can see that that's exactly how they deal with our people. The only two clauses that deal with us is what? Read it. The only two clauses in the Constitution which points to this race, treat them as persons whom it is morally lawful to deal in as articles of property and to hold as slaves.
See?
That's in the Constitution.
See? So I'm going to end it right there. He just proved my point, right? But he don't understand it. They don't understand it yet. You don't understand it yet. The Moors understand it. You know, the Moors and all the lawyers and the people who wrote this, they understand that we don't understand it. I understand it. Thank God he gave us. This is the understanding we got to get in order to really unite our people. You think how you would unite your people knowing that they're uniting to go govern, to go stand and become sovereign in their own eyes, to stand up to these people and say, we understand, we're not feeble-minded, we don't need your belligerent trustee acts that you're doing toward us. We're not your slaves anymore. We renounce. We're not coming to you guys for anything anymore. I know that's part of the curse, but we're gathering and coming out of the curse. And he said, when we come out of the curse and wake up to who we are, then these blessings will pursue us. Okay? So I'm going to end it right here, man. I hope this is beautiful. I'm glad he did this. They don't have understanding. We see that, so we can't hold them accountable for their 501c3 and not understanding this, but they're getting there. They are getting there. I thank God for these brothers. They're the first ones to help wake me up, man. They are powerful, and God is working with them. And thank God for this video. All praises to the Most High.